GoldenEye is the next film in the Bond series, and now we're getting into the Pierce Brosnan era of Bond, and this is my favorite Bond film. Now, I'm not saying this one's the best, but it's always been easily one of my favorites, if not my favorite. It's hard to pick between this and another one we'll get to later, but and a lot of this has to do with who directed this movie. This movie is directed by Martin Campbell. Now, he's directed some pretty terrible films, like this one right here, Green Lantern, but he's also directed some great movies. And this is one of them. And they're not great in the sense of, like, they're very artistic or very, very complex. They're not. GoldenEye, Casino Royale, and Mask of Zorro are his best films. And what those films are very slick, very fast-paced, they're very crowd-pleasing, fun, enjoyable movies. They get to the point, they don't really do much else in terms of being anything more than that. And this movie does a really great job at being that. The action is amazing. The opening scene of this movie, I adore. It is one of my favorite opening scenes in any Bond film. It opens the movie up quick, effectively, and shows off how well Bond works as a spy. The action in this movie is amazing. It's great. Where the movie falls short is the script and a lot of the dialogue. It's a little too cheesy at points. It feels like, but it's also like I don't really care so much because it's just a quick, fun-paced movie. And also Bond films are kind of always like that. It doesn't really bother me too much with this movie. And I really love Pierce Brosnan in the role as Bond. He works really well as the character. He looks, if I had to pick my favorite Bond, he would probably be it. Pierce Brosnan is amazing as Bond in this movie. And the other thing I really like about this movie is Judi Dench as M. She, this is one of those things about Bond that has sticked and not really stopped. Judi Dench is still part of the Bond series as years go on. She left recently, the Bond series, but she went on from the 90s, from 1995 when this movie came out, till all the way to... And when was the last Bond film? I know we have another one coming out this year, but there was another one, I think it was 2012. So, she was M for maybe, it was longer. It wasn't that long. I don't know. But point is, she was M for a long time because she was so good in this role, and she defined what this role is and will continue to define it. I don't know who they're going to get to replace Judi Dench in the next movie, or if even M's in the next movie. I hope, that character is, but we'll see. But yeah, it was a really good casting choice. It worked out really well. And basically, this movie is, I think, the best Bond reboot ever. Because, the last Bond film was in the 80s. This was a reboot into the 90s. And I think it worked so effectively and was fantastic. And one of the best Bond films of all time.